What are the protections that are in place at the moment for whistleblowers? And why are they not working?
Okay, I'll maybe Chris will add to why they're not working, I'm sure. Okay, what we have in place in terms of the law is the Protected Disclosures Act, as amended in 2017. And the amendment was quite valuable, but it's still hasn't resulted in protecting people properly. And then there's the witness protection law, but that's something different. It's not when a whistleblower turns state witness, then they fall under that legislation. But in your normal whistleblower, if I can call that that way, your normal whistleblower in an organization is protected by the Protected Disclosures Act.
I think sometimes it's called PDA, is that right?
PDA, yes. Let me just talk a bit much shorter. So the PDA provides protection against occupational detriment. So that would mean that if you have blown the whistle in good faith, number one, if the whistle was blown maliciously, then that is it becomes a criminal offense, and that person will be charged with up to 150,000 Rand fine or 2 years in prison or both. But so the Act, the PDA, protects whistleblowers against occupational detriment. In other words, if they have been demoted, any form of victimization.
Right.
The onus, however, is then on the whistleblower to go and lay a charge against the employer. Okay. Now, remember, many of them have already now lost their jobs. So where do they get the money from to go, to court? So what the PDA can do for a whistleblower is to say, okay, you have suffered occupational detriment, and therefore we rule that you be reinstated at your organization, or you get a 6 month salary or any of those kind of things.
Yeah.
The Act does not protect a person literally. So if my life is being threatened because I blew the whistle, you can go to the police. We know what will happen. Nothing. People have tried. So in effect, there is nothing that protects, in that sense, a whistleblower. Chris, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I agree with you, Liesl. The protection is occupational detriment, and the onus of proof is on the individual who has been facing the detriment, and there's huge costs associated and a massive power imbalance that goes with it. I think, there's also, why would one take the risk if you are working in an organization? And I think the challenge is also that, well, in all organizations where you report, so let's say you report to the National Anti-Corruption Hotline, you work in a municipality and you report to the National Anti-Corruption Hotline. The National Anti-Corruption Hotline doesn't have investigative capacity. There isn't an independent organization who's going to come in and investigate matters. The National Anti-Corruption Hotline basically takes that information and they take it back to the municipality where you work and say to them, look, we've received this report, you need to investigate it. Now, it depends where the rot stops. So if the rot is all the way to the top, then clearly they're not going to investigate. And there's also, it's a very politicized environment in our local government ethical leadership project. We hear a lot of stories about people saying, well, when it becomes political, the political parties are closed ranks around their people. The investigation, well, something might get investigated. It goes to the municipal manager, it goes to council, but in council, nothing happens to that report. So now the person has taken a risk in actually, well, they don't need to come forward. They can, I suppose the biggest protection is to remain anonymous. but yeah, sometimes I suppose the knowledge is only with a certain group of people, and people can figure out
They can figure out
who blew the whistle. But now I've taken this risk, but there's no upside to it. So in other words, I'm not rewarded with justice at the end of the day. I've just taken a risk, and nothing is happening actually to anything that I'm doing. So yeah, there's two reasons, and Liesl will tell you a bit more about the research that we've done. But the two main reasons why people don't report: the first is that they fear they'll be victimized, and the second is they don't think that anything is going to happen in any event.